I tapped back to my online banking app, verifying transactions I'd foolishly trusted my husband with. June 15th, 2023, $5,000 withdrawn for an investment opportunity. My salary funding his infidelity cloaked under the guise of financial growth. Each flick of my finger revealed more lies than love. I cleared the tears, blurring my vision, and carved a carefully controlled smile, masking the gut-wrenching agony. "I need to go to the office," I whispered to myself. As I gathered my keys, I vowed he would never see this deceitful bliss burst forth in sunlight again. That night, as Tom feigned interest in some Netflix drivel, I scrolled through our shared calendar: Miami, Seattle, New York. They weren't business trips. Each exotic escapade was a betrayal, and there was one payment yet to be made. The wife he thought he betrayed was wide awake. I crafted my plan with the precision of a surgeon. First, I called Elizabeth, my gentle-eyed financial advisor, secretly shifting savings into accounts Tom couldn't touch. She quirked an eyebrow but accepted my new instructions, grimly acknowledging the silent storm brewing within me. Days turned into weeks. I was a ghost drifting through my own home, haunting him with disguised pleasantries. Each morning, Tom kissed my cheek, unaware he was blissfully kissing his ruination. There was power in knowing the secret hung like a storm cloud above him. I scouted for my ground zero, the annual gala. Every eye in Manhattan would be glued to the stage. They adored Tom, the charming investor with a supposed Midas touch. I'd hand him gold only to watch it crumble between his fingers. The day arrived, October 10th. Guests shimmered under chandelier light, embroidered dresses twirling, champagne bubbles dancing upwards. I engineered a spotlight moment that even Gatsby would envy. My heart raced. This masquerade was seconds away from true unmasking. But that wasn't even the worst part. A small voice, my own conscience, whispered fear. Was there humanity left in me, or had I become as monstrous as his betrayal? I pressed forward, driven more by justice than revenge. Meanwhile, on stage, Tom graciously accepted his accolade. He basked in the false adoration, and I, hidden in a corner, watched his caricature unfurl. My phone buzzed as the room's collective gasp looped to one victim: him. Showtime. Gasps and whispers filled the room like rising floodwaters. Tom's panicked eyes searched the crowd, finally resting on mine. A dawning horror washed over him as he realized the unplanned encore was just beginning, and I was the maestro. But in that moment, amidst the chaos, I wondered, would exposing him change anything? Justice demanded balance, yet heartbreak remained incurable. His failings didn't define me, yet tears marred my resolve as emotions tangled between despair and vindication. Tom's shattered composure devolved into pleas, proclaiming innocence, maligning me with the remnants of his shredded dignity. I remained unmoved, a stoic figure witnessing his pathetic pleas. But behind the facade, my heart trembled like a leaf caught in a storm. At last, the gala's music faltered, awkward notes dissolving into silence, the perfect stage for truth's final dance. I'd summoned the courage needed to dismantle my own trauma. Tom had constructed lies for selfish delight. Now the ruin was mutual. Then a shattering revelation. My name topped the asset list of his illicit accounts. Quietly, I unearthed that he used me, weaponizing my success to fashion a deceitful tower. Even betrayal's gauntlet required my unwitting consent. Somewhere in the shadows, applause erupted. Tom's mistress, Emily, strolled forth, a serpentine grin marking her victory, taking pleasure in his disgrace. She wasn't innocent, she had her own agenda, and Tom was merely the pawn, one whose utility had expired. But that wasn't even the worst part. Her presence, once threatening, morphed into a bizarre alliance. Both scorned, both scarred. In Emily's eyes, I saw the twisted reflection of my former self, a chess player with tangled strings of fate. Strangely, we found a mutual understanding against a shared adversary. We'd each lost something to a lie. But only I possessed the strength to end his cowardice construct completely. Relief washed over me as I realized we could bury the past in a shared grave, held by justice, not hatred. The whispers among guests settled, nervous energy giving way to hesitant laughter. Tom sulked in the spotlight of shame, an unwilling star as fractured reputation echoed in brittle fragments. Emily melted into obscurity while I rose, ready to reclaim my narrative. My voice, unhinged by measured wrath, cut through the crowd. Lies, deceit, the very air we breathe was false, but now the truth holds sway. Applause thundered around the hall. It was their song, but my stage and my victory. I stood, my chin tilted slightly, brushed with the confidence of grim triumph. Catching my reflection in a nearby mirror, realization crystallized. I wasn't David facing Goliath. I was the light, shining through a cracked facade he thought unbreakable. With each strike of truth on Tom's transgressions, my heart felt lightened, liberated from the deceit. I wasn't alone in this struggle. It wasn't merely my story now. It was a tapestry, woven by every person he manipulated. But the spotlight held whispers of its own justice, resolving a narrative that was theirs but never mine. Each glance I met bore witness to an era ended, and my heart steadied, layered with new hope, carrying scars not of wounds but victories. Tom, now stripped of his charm and power, approached, desperation framing his face. "Claire, this all had meaning for us. Don't do this." But my heart, once softened by pleas, hardened, firm, resolved. Our past, now a relic for him, a lesson for me. "We already did it, Tom. We lived the lies. Now we face our truths, and truth has no partners." My words sliced through his crumbling resistance. This was the finale of a pantomime only one of us chose to end. Tom slunk into the shadows, diplomacy of deceit replaced by the courage he never learned. Letting go felt like untangling an anchor from my soul, free to drift towards horizons I'd once deemed unattainable. The night air carried whispers of applause, merging truths with dusk. Descending steps faintly traced the rhythm of renewed hope. At last I was free, not only from Tom but from whatever idea of him had ensnared me before. My own lies, inert through complicit silence, were now exchanged for agency over a future defined not by mendacity but integrity. The final curtain fell, not on betrayal but on the foundation of a path authentically mine, immortalized in newfound resilience. It was then that I shed the scales of ruined dreams, emerging anew, not as a woman scorned, but as a spirit capable of its renaissance. Revenge wasn't the story's end, merely the prologue in a self-discovery saga unwritten and resilient. As the first light crested over the chaos squall, my path felt charted not by revenge but love for self, a testament to liberation born from flames of deceit. Thunderous echoes hushed, leaving only the melody of the life I chose to conduct.